What's going on, Legion? As usual, like always, we got Star Wars. I didn't even realize there was a first trailer out. But there was, and I missed it. So we're checking out the second trailer. I've kind of seen memes of certain parts, which is kind of unfortunate. But we're going to get into the whole thing. If I saw what I thought I saw on the website I get trailers from, the official artwork is Rey and Kylo fighting with Sidious in the background. That's the official thing that they put on there. I don't know if that's the poster art or not, but that was what it was there. I may be mistaking, or they just may have had a placeholder image. That might have been a thing. I'm not sure. But with that, let's just get into it. Check it out. See what it's all about. I'm pretty excited. Yeah, let's go. Let's get into it. Let's hope it's good. I was like, what? Hello? I swear I clicked it. Binary Suns. That's a long time ago, man. 70s, baby. The 70s. A legacy comes to an end. So many good scenes, man. Yeah.
We've passed on all we know.
I actually don't know who that voice is.
1,000 generations live in you now.
Live in you now. Snoke or...
But this is your fight.
Oh, it's Luke. I'm an idiot. It's expansive right there. Woohoo! Oh, hell yeah, dude. Look at all that. Comes to an end, thank God. Lightsaber throw. Same shit lightsaber.
Yes, it's him.
Ah, Sidious. The Vader. What the hell was that? That's such a shit lightsaber design too. I hate that design. Let's go back real quick. Nothing else, I'm assuming. I want to hear the transition between Luke and Sidious. Lightsaber throw.
Your journey.
Oh. Wait.
Your journey. Yes, it's him.
That looks like such a fan-made thing, though. It's crazy. Now, I don't know if I'm hearing it right. I want to hear it real quick. So what I'm hearing, first of all, I don't want to go so freaking far back down here that we hear Luke. Luke says some stuff, then there's some trailer stuff, then it's Sidious. When it goes black, what I think I hear not only is Sidious and, the Vader respirator, the mask, but I also feel like I'm hearing the Rebel Alliance music or the Resistance or whatever it was, or the Old Republic with like episode 1, 2, 3 Republic music. I don't know what specific version of that is, if it's the Resistance or it's the typical symphony that we always hear, the Star Wars music. Maybe that's what I think I'm hearing. In the midst of hearing all the evil, I feel like I'm hearing a little bit of music that sounds... I'm going to turn it up real quick, and maybe we'll just see if we can hear it. Maybe I'm making it up, whatever.
Yes, it's him.
No, it wasn't mostly... it was more of a tone. It wasn't the music. It was more of the different tone.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not music.
yes, it's him.
Oh, it's that fucking. It's the ambient noise of like not the force, but that like when Yoda was saying something wisdom wise, whimsical or something, and you hear that little. Oh god, I don't even know how to describe it. Like the music you hear like before like Star Wars popped up, that very twinkly kind of sound. That's what I heard. That's Ray, right? That is Ray. I'm not like misseeing somebody. It looks like Ray, unless it's somebody that's like looks just like her. Yeah. I have a theory. All right, we'll leave it right there. All right. So, if you've been on my channel before, you've known that I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've loved it all my life. I was never the biggest, like, I never fanboyed or really went super, oh my god, for 7, 8. I just was like, it just, I don't know. It is what it is, right? It's just kind of a conclusion. This is what happens when you have other people come into a project that they weren't a part of or start. It doesn't really matter how much you love it or grew up with it. It doesn't mean you're going to be able to make something that it is what it is, right? In my personal opinion, for the most part, episodes 1 through 6 have been pretty, I'm not going to say like vanilla because it's bad, but like the main storyline of Star Wars is kind of, I don't want to say like watered down, but it's the way it is so that everybody can kind of enjoy it, right? It's not too crazy. It's not too violent. It's not full of like crazy amounts of hatred all the time. It has a balance of everything, but it never goes like, oh my god, in one direction. There is definitely some crazy moments. The Luke, Vader, I'm your father thing, the Death Star blowing up, Sidious and everything that he kind of rambled on about. But as far as, like Jason Bourne, it's like it's a lot of action and people are dying. It's a story about betrayal and just bad people making other people do bad stuff, right? That's just kind of what it is. It's very hard leaning in one side of that, and then it kind of comes back with the redemption-esque thing. Star Wars very much just kind of pitter-patters right in the middle, which makes it amenable or easy for everyone to kind of get into, right? That's why it's so successful. It has a little bit of for everybody, is how I like to look at it. But you look at other stories like, what is it, Outward Bound or something like that, where they go into like the Chiss space or the Old Republic or, other storylines that are very hardcore, featuring on the Sith, featuring on the Jedi or whatever. A lot of their like what if stuff or their branch off stuff is definitely more hardcore as far as storytelling, one side or the other. And so what we have is that's kind of how Star Wars is. I feel like 7 and 8 and maybe even 9 is very much a lot of up here for evil, down here for good, something for everybody over here. It has a lot of everything. And I think that's kind of why it's a big kind of for me as far as the overall picture of Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and there's a lot of stuff that I've read and or audiobooked that I've loved a lot more than 7 and 8. Not to say that I hate 7 and 8, but that's what that is. My theory is that Sidious possessed Rey as a Sith wraith, and he consumed her temporarily. That's just my working theory, because it's going to be kind of crazy. I'm interested to see how they make Rey either turn to the dark side, or maybe she's faking it. But it's going to be really crazy in one movie if she goes from being good to evil, and if she comes back to being good, she stays evil or whatever. It's going to be kind of crazy if it's literally just that black and white, where she's just kind of switching sides. or she's either possessed by Sidious or super influenced by him to like where she didn't really fall. It's like his beyond the grave powers, maybe. I don't really know. I've also never been the biggest fan of Rey either. Story wise, they fast tracked her abilities. She went from being a nothing to almost as powerful as like a Jedi Knight kind of thing, where she was using the Force to defend against Kylo, right? And I felt like that was a little sped up in one movie. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Also, Daisy Ridley, she's just a very sweet looking person, and she has a very pretty smile. And when you have someone that's supposed to be saving the universe and all this bad shit's happening, and she's walking around like a clueless dipshit, that's just annoying. It's annoying for someone that's supposed to be enthralled in the universe and its upheaval to then just be like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like you're a clueless, moron. Like you have no common sense. That's one of the reasons why I was never the biggest fan of Rey. It's because she seemed like a ditz, like an airhead that didn't really get it unless evil stuff was happening in front of her or people were directing her. Almost like she was a very immature, naive person that didn't really, and that might be true. She might have been, I guess that is an actual thing that Rey in episode 7 was a really naive, didn't really get things kind of character, I guess. And 8 definitely showed her kind of, all right, what the fuck, I'm here to play kind of thing. And she definitely was better. The character, I don't know. Those are just kind of my views. It's like when you watch like an anime or something, and the main character is a dumbass that can't do anything right, but somehow saves the day. I hate those characters. I'm just not a fan of it. Daisy really is a great actress, though. I just want to put that out there. And the last thing I wanted to say, and I actually kind of forgot it. I'm also kind of glad that this is the end of it. I don't want more of this kind of Star Wars. I'm over it. I have no like fleeting, or I should say it's fleeting love for 7, 8, and possibly 9. I'm not over here singing its praises. So if we can get some spin-off stuff that is going to be more, true to the story, I just remember what I was going to say now. That'll be great. As far as this version of the story, I don't really care for this story they created. I personally don't think the Ujin Vong would have been a great story. It would have looked very cringy, I think, very weird on set to have an alien race that does stuff. Alien races that lose body parts or cuts them off in ceremony and then puts it into like a pool of like these crustacean parasite symbiotic things that recreate your hands, your arms, your eyes, whatever. They were a Satanist, masochist, whatever race of warriors that had a permanent void around them, so the Force didn't affect them. And the Jedi Order is rebuilt, and then it's destroyed by the Ujin Vong, and then I guess it comes back, kinda. That's whatever. I don't think that would have made for a great story. What happens after that, I believe it's what happens after that, is when Ben and the twins, specifically the Skywalker twins, the oldest sibling, I believe, from Leia, and then Luke with Mara Jade and his kid, they all do their own thing, and Ben becomes, I think, a Sith leader, and there's the guy with the 2 eyes, I can't remember his name, Darth whatever, the one that gets reincarnated and keeps coming back, Darth Bane, I think it is, and Darth Talon. That story with all of them, that would have been a great story. Skip the Ujin Vong and go straight to that stuff where the Sith have come back in a force, pretty much. Those would be some great stories. Way better than the whole Knights of Ren Kylo stuff, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I believe Ben kills one of his siblings. If it wasn't, I think it was his twin, if not his older sibling, I believe. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Like, it's real dark side stuff. Not this, Twilight, angsty Kylo guy, So I think that if we wouldn't have gotten this story, skip the Ujin Vong, and maybe even the Chiss, because it would have been weird on film, I think, and got to that later stuff with Darth Talon and all of that, that would have been some fun stuff to watch. And in there we would have got a Luke that didn't die, I think, for the most part, and a Luke that was so strong that he could literally just start crushing ships in space, like from his ship, like super strong, and Luke would have had his own trials again of trying to understand that level of power. It would have been. It's a great story. If you haven't seen it, I just read it or audiobook it or whatever you can find it. It's a great story to check out. All that stuff that comes after episode 6, even with the Ujin Vong, story wise, all that stuff is really good. So check that out if you want to. And I'm pretty excited for 9. I didn't think I would be, but seeing this, I am definitely more interested, and I'm glad it's kind of coming out the way it is. So I'm interested to see how they finish it up, and I hope whatever the spinoffs they do, if they do Old Republic with like Revan, although I know they've kind of distanced themselves from that, if they do any of that kind of stuff, the Outward Bound stuff, the anything with Chiss, anything like that, I'd be pretty excited. I know they're doing Mandalore stuff, so it's not far to say or far fetched to say that they may do some other stuff Old Republic wise, which would be so awesome. But with that, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see whatever video I'm doing next. Later, guys.